Hey everyone, I thought I would share with you what I'm working on as far as winterizing the chicken runs. Winterizing the chicken runs is super important. It's one of the most important things you can do. And the reason why is because if you live in an area with bad weather, especially, harsh winters and high winds, if the chickens spend all of their time in the coop, literally cooped up for days, that's when you're going to get negative side effects. That's when you're going to get behavioral problems. You're going to get injuries and feather pulling, egg eating, things like this, symptoms of boredom, behavioral issues that are associated with boredom. So one of the things that I'm doing new this year, normally I wrap my chicken run with thick plastic, but this year with my new chicken runs, I am using these plastic panels. These are the same kind of panels you would use for, say, roofing or a greenhouse, something like that. Sometimes you'll see them, you'll just see like one or two of them incorporated just to let some light through. So of course I like the clear ones because that lets the sunlight through, and chickens need sunlight just as much as we do. Their egg production is tied to sunlight, so the more sunlight you let in, the better, but this will keep the wind out. So let me go over a few details with you of how I'm choosing to do this. Now I'm installing these vertically, obviously, instead of on a roof, so you might choose to do it a little bit different if you were actually putting these on a roof. And we can go over that if you need me to. Just leave me any questions in the comments, and I'll talk about the differences, say, between a roof and going the vertical walls. But hopefully you already have a proper run. You already have a roof on your run. If you don't, then you definitely do want to put a roof on there, because again, runs are useless in really bad weather. So yeah, let me go over this really quick with you. I am using these screws here. You want to make sure you use the proper ones with the rubber washers on them, and I'll show you more what that looks like here in just a second when we get over to where I have all the supplies. So I chose to butt them all the way up to the top, and then I'm leaving a little space down here at the bottom, and I will show you why I'm doing that. When I wrapped my old run in thick plastic, the debris from inside and high winds, and obviously they just scratch it up, sometimes it will get caught down here. So what I like to do this time is not only keep it up off of the ground, because it allows a little bit of snow that can build up there, but when that debris builds up inside here and that holds moisture up against the wood, that's not a good idea. So if that starts to happen, hey bud, if that starts to happen, all I have to do is back a couple of these screws out and just shake that here and get that debris out. So these, as you can see, they are flimsy. This is not like metal roofing that's very rigid. You do not want to try to install these on a windy day. It's very difficult to do so, but they are much lighter than the metal tin roofing. So they're pretty easy to work with, though, as long as you don't have high winds. So when you use these screws, you want to make sure you do not over tighten. Now you'll know, because if you over tighten, this washer right here will kind of flatten out and look weird, and it'll start to crack. That's how you know you have it in too much. You want to back that out a little bit to where the washer is what we would always say in Kentucky anyway, is taut. Or here in Amish country where I live now, they would say you want to, tie it fast. You want to, screw that in fast. So it just means tight, but not too tight. So I chose to put them in just to the left of the ridge. So these panels have ridges and they have valleys. That's what I call them anyway. And I chose to go just to the left of each ridge, because I know some people say you're always supposed to go through the right through the ridge, and that would definitely make sense, or more sense, if you're installing it on a roof. However, when you are installing it vertically, you're not going to get a lot of leakage, so the water's going to run here down here. It's not actually going to pull up around the washer. And the other reason why I chose to do this is I did actually start out going right through the ridge, but because this is so flexible, when you go through the ridge, it pushes. See that? When you're pushing in on that ridge, it's pushing that out even more, and that's not what I wanted. So I just went to the left of each ridge. Now, if you've never used this type of panel before, let me show you that each side, Let me see if I can show you on the grass here. But I'll show you over where I keep the supplies to make it a little more clear. So as I said, you've got your ridges and you've got your valleys, but on one side at the ridge, it will cut off quickly and there won't be a lip. But at the other side, there'll be a little bit of a lip. So you want to make sure that you are installing them going in the same direction. And when you're ready for your next piece, so here I started on this end and I'm working my way this way. I am leaving, as you can see, I didn't screw that in. I stopped at the end here. And the reason why is because you want to have one full ridge of overlap. So I kept the extra lip here on my left at all times so that when the next piece comes on, let me grab my scrap piece. You want to line that up one full, hold on one second, sorry about the camera mess. You want to overlap that one full ridge. It just fits right over the top of there. And then when you put your next screw in, you're going to put it right here. And do you see where that lip is? You want to catch that lip a little bit. So you take the non-lip edge and go over the top of the edge with the lip. And when you put that screw in, you want to catch that lip. And that's going to secure it in place. So now, let me take you over here to where the supplies is, and I will show you how I do that. So anyway, here's the screw, and see that's got a rubber washer on the end there, and that's what you want. You could find these in most hardware stores. Over there, wherever the roofing screws are is usually where you find these. So just make sure that you've got the rubber washer on them. And they're installed like that. See, I use a DeWalt drill. And let me show you here so you can see it from this angle. This end, so this will be the ridge, this will be the valley, and this is the side with a little bit of lip on it. See that? Now if we come to this side, see, it just comes straight down, no lip. So that's the difference there. Now when you're cutting it, I went to social media when because I've never worked with these plastic panels before. I went to social media and I was checking to see how are people actually cutting these to size. And some people were recommending to use a multi-tool, and I tried that and it just vibrated like crazy, even when I clamped it down. And it didn't make a good cut, even though it did cut. The cut was jagged, and I just did not like it. So then I tried a downgraded blade on a jigsaw, and that worked a little better, but it was still the same thing. It was vibrating like crazy. The cut was a little smoother, but yet it was just far more difficult. And then I thought, why am I going through all of this trouble? Why don't I just try a pair of 10 snips, which is what I would use on a metal roof at times, you know, if you're making smaller cuts. So I'll grab this pair here, and this is just a straight pair. And let me show you on this scrap piece. I wish I wouldn't have wasted any time on my first couple pieces experimenting, because this right here is the way to go. So look at that. Watch how easy this cuts. Super easy. So it does not take a lot of hand strength to do that. So anyone with issues with hand strength or weak hands or anything like that, you're still going to be able to cut this. It's no more difficult than cutting, say, a piece of cloth. So that's how I did it. Let me come back up to this piece here. It's pretty simple, by the way. If you need it to cut, hold on, let me come around here. If you need it to cut like this, I just used a pocket knife and just slit it a little bit to bring through. I have this that opens the door on the other side. It's just a pulley string, but I just cut it with my pocket knife. So that's how easy it is once that's already installed up there. I literally just poked it inside there and just kind of did like that, and it worked just fine. So if you need to, you know, cut around like over here, all I did was put the panel up with a couple of screws, and then I just took a marker and literally just went around the door like this, then took it back off, took it over there, and used the snips to cut that out. And it's pretty smooth. It's not really jagged. So yeah, that was pretty easy. Now I will tell you, if you've never installed one of these before, one of the things you want to make sure that you do is you're going to start at the corner, right? And then you want to go vertically down on your next screw. What you don't want to do is go horizontal. If you start here and then you work your way down, or work your way over, and then you come over here like this, you're going to be pulling it slightly every time you do that, and you're going to get off square pretty quickly. And then it's when you do try to come down here, it's going to bow out a lot. So start at one corner, work your way down vertically, and then you go to the next one and work your way down vertically. All right, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, leave that down in the comments. And then what we'll do, I will make another video to address all of your questions. And then I'll also make another video that shows other tips and how I winterize inside the coop and other things I do to prepare for the winter. So if you don't want to miss that video, make sure you subscribe. And again, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer them. And if I get a whole lot of the same question, I'll just make another video addressing it. So make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Hope you got something out of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. You all take care. Bye-bye.